there are examples like that when the pet chooses
to
leave.
abandon the family.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If there is too much aggression in the family, so some, are like a mirror. They will let you know that there is something wrong in the family. So they will, for no reason, they will keep scratching.
Right.
Now that is a sign that there is too much stress in the family, or some animal will run away from the family.
I can understand for the pet parents, okay? We are still humans, we understand our emotions. Does the pet know that they're taking me to the hospital to put me down? Does the pet feel betrayed? Hi Gauri.
Hi Maana.
Welcome to the Talk About It with Maana show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Very, very, very excited because today's topic is very, very different from the usual topics that we take. Today we are going to talk to Gouri about her profession. She's an animal communicator, like you know. Now, please tell our viewers what, in the simplest terms, what would we mean by animal communication?
Okay, so animal communication basically is language of feelings.
All right.
When I say I communicate with animals, I communicate through telepathy.
All right. Okay.
So telepathy, the word telepathy is the word which means feeling across distance. Okay, pathy means feelings and tele means distance.
Right.
So it is feeling across distance.
Okay.
So whenever I am talking to any animal, even if the animal is far away from me, I can still access the feelings of the animal.
And is this a one-way communication or two-way? Because if you are accessing the animal's feelings,
Yeah.
it's ideally like you are tapping into his feelings.
Yeah.
But can it be a two-way
Yes.
communication?
Yes, so it is two-way communication, and that's why it is called communication. Accessing might not be the right word,
Right.
but it is something that I am getting in touch with the soul to know the feelings of that soul, whatever the life experiences have been of that soul, and asking him about it, so that the memory content which is there around the soul, it is actually talking to me. So the animal is actually talking to me.
Wow.
And whenever I need to tell something to the animal will often give me some signs that he or she has understood what I am trying to say.
Right.
And then he will or she will, give me back, like he will answer me back. So
For
it is
example, what are these signs like?
Yeah, so if any pet parent approaches me regarding their animal being aggressive or any of the behavioral issue,
Right.
like my dog or cat continues to pee here or there, anything like that,
Right.
or we have a new baby in the house. So for example, I had this amazing communication with one dog whose name is Mowgli,
Oh,
and he had baby sister, human baby sister.
right.
So ideally we tend to humanize, but I am just, for the time's sake, I am using the word human baby sister.
Right.
But now this daughter of the client,
Right.
so they were having issues with him jumping onto her because he was very excited whenever she came.
Oh, and he did not realize that he may end up hurting the child.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
And then when I spoke with him, he is telling me that please keep her down. I will really not jump on her again. And I will just, smell her because I am too excited. I agree that I am too excited whenever they come back home.
Yeah.
So I won't really jump on her anymore. And then after few days, after our communication, when I got in touch with the guardian of Mowgli,
Yeah.
she told me that we are almost sorted. He no longer jumps onto my daughter, and there is increased level of understanding. So these are the example, like any behavioral issue. It's not necessary that the animal will listen to whatever I say,
Yeah.
because I am just going to request the
Right,
animal.
of course.
And then if they want to cooperate, depending on how much awareness even the family has,
Right.
the human beings in the house, how much in tune are they with their own animal.
Right.
How are they approaching, how are they really feeling the feelings of the animal?
Like I, for example, may have a generalized notion that all pet parents are absolutely in love with their pets. Not necessary, right?
Not
Some
necessary.
may not even be in tune, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Because often we tend to think in a particular box. We have a belief about dog or cat. Like,
Yes.
cats are always, cats consider themselves as God, and dogs are like loyal servants. So we have all these ideas and beliefs
Yes,
which
yes.
we are continuously projecting onto the animal, which is not true. Because even if cat may have its own characteristics,
Right.
which are related to the species, they have their individual nature, they have their individual personality. So all cats cannot be considered and categorized into one species, that this is a cat.
Oh.
Like that, because it's really not like that.
Okay, since we are talking about cats, and I, in general, my heart goes out to all animals. I have so much love for all animals, but from a distance, and especially when it comes to a cat, the moment I see a cat in the room, I'll run away for some weird reason. And I've always thought of cats as a species who does not have a heart. Like, I don't think they know to show love. Tell me, like, and I've met so many people who'd agree with me. Like, cats,
Yeah.
somehow, I'm sorry to use the word, but the most often used word is very evilish, like not loving creatures. Is that true?
No, that's not at all true. I would really like to give you this one example. Recently, I was talking to a dog whose name is Monty, and he had actually crossed over, like he had passed away.
Right.
He was no longer in his physical body. Now, when his client approached me, the dog told me that she should get a cat.
Oh.
And now the pet parent has really adopted a cat. And it is so soothing and it is so healing for her. And she also claimed that I'm not a cat person. And I don't know, how healing it is to have a cat.
Right.
And I followed your advice through, like the advice which Monty gave,
Right.
through you.
Right.
And now it is a completely changed relationship. So it is not at all.
Dog lovers, they've become like
Cat
they say, a
love.
dog person, cat person.
Cat person. So it is
Right.
not like that. See, whenever a soul decides to be with any one of us, they have kind of a contract with us, a soul
Of course.
contract with us.
Yes.
So they have some role in our lives.
Right.
It has a meaning. So it is not like cat or dog or bird. It's not like that. It's
We just
the
look
soul.
At them as the soul.
Yeah. It's the essence, it's the being which is there inside that particular animal. Because they might even not like us, like we are,
Yeah, absolutely.
talking about them, but it might be the same about them, that I don't like being around humans because they feel little tall, they walk on two legs,
Oh, yeah.
So animals can share things like that, we feel that, for
Very
example,
inferior.
yeah, because not inferior in that sense, but inferior in the sense that in the space which we share together in the family, if a cat is afraid of other human beings in the family,
Right.
it could be the cat's perception that I see you as a tall object. I really see you as a tall object. I feel that you might, whenever you bend, I feel that you might fall over me. Like they might have some misconceptions even about us.
Because one species thinking that about the other species.
Other species.
Very understandable.
And not even about that. Like some human beings, they might not object to, but some they will really object to. Like if the energy level of that particular human being is not in tune with the animal, they will move away from you because they are so instinctive, not only in tune with their bodies, but also in tune with their higher soul.
Right.
So they live right in the moment. So they will also choose people whom they want to be around.
So, considering that someone from a family
Yeah.
is vibrating at a higher level, has good energies, so a pet would choose to be around that person more than the others.
Yeah, so it depends on what the need of that particular soul is, because sometimes they might choose to be with a human being who needs some kind of healing,
Right.
where the pet is going to absorb the energy from the human.
Really?
So when I say that there are different types of souls, some animals, they are kind of absorbing energy from the family members, and they are trying to balance the energies in the family, in the house. So they feel themselves to be responsible
Right.
for balancing the energy. So they will also have characteristics like us. Like,
Right.
some of us are people pleasing.
Yes.
Some animals are also people pleasing.
Yes.
They will just try to make everyone comfortable in the family.
Yes.
They will really, they, even if I am upset, they will come to me, they will start licking me like that.
Right.
And some will really, there are and there are examples if the family environment is not good, if the energy is not at par with what the animal is expecting, then these animals might even go missing. So they leave houses. They might approach and choose another human being, or just be happy living on the street.
Right.
There are examples like that when the pet chooses
To leave.
to leave.
Abandon the family.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If there is too much aggression in the family. So some, are like a mirror. They will let you know that there is something wrong in the family. So they will, for no reason, they will keep scratching.
Right.
Now that is a sign that there is too much stress in the family, or some animal will run away from the family. So they will continuously show us, being our mirror, what is, the dynamics, the energy dynamics are within the family.
Now, as you're saying these things, I am actually thinking of my friends with pets. And I'm like, this one behaves in a particular way, and oh my God, yes, he's actually reflecting the family dynamics.
Yeah.
How bang on accurate is this?
Yeah, and they are not at all random, because usually we think that they are just random energy, like just random mechanical things
Yes.
behaving according to what is conditioned
Right.
in their entire whatever, like the genes which they carry for that particular species. But it is not like that. They are not random behaving entities. They will respond to your energy.
Wow.
So sometimes they act as mirror, and sometimes they absorb a lot. So they take on.
Right.
For example, I will give my own example. My dog Millie, because of whom I am Animal Communicator today. So when she passed away, right on the day when she passed away, she told me that I am going to leave my body today. I was preparing to leave for my office. So I told my mom that something is going to happen today, and please give some special attention to her,
But was she
because
unwell?
she was unwell. Yeah. She was already bedridden for about 2 months, and so she told me that I am going to leave today. And when I was on my way back home, just 2 minutes round the corner, I got a call from my mom that I think she is no more. And when I came back home, when I felt her, and slowly when I realized that okay, there is an entire field as animal communication, and when I really connected back with her again, then I understood many of the things which earlier I never understood. Because my mom always used to say that Millie keeps staring at you. She just keeps staring as if she is reading your each and every thought. And I used to be like, okay, fine, she can feel me,
Right.
but it's not necessary that she will know what I am thinking.
Right.
But that was not true. She was actually in tune with me. She used to read my thoughts. And what I was trying to tell you about the example of taking on. So that particular patch in my life, when I was too stressed, she actually took on that energy on herself,
Right.
which actually triggered a condition in her body. So it is not only that she took on the energy from me.
Right.
So, like there are, see, what is science is science. Telepathy cannot be called as science.
Of course.
So scientifically, she had some seeds of that disease in her own body.
Right.
So entire blame is not on the energy of the people at home.
Right.
It's not that way.
Okay.
But because of the stress, she started taking on, and then the condition got like, it went on increasing.
Because the topic that you touched upon is so heart-wrenching. I've never been a pet parent, and I can't even begin to imagine how difficult it must be. It's as good as losing your own child, because I've seen pet parents loving their pets like their own baby.
Yeah.
But that brings me to this next question. I may not know much about this because I've never been a pet parent, but I know that when a pet is genuinely very unwell and you cannot recover, the pet cannot recover from that situation, euthanasia is used.
Yeah.
I can understand for the pet parents, okay, we are still humans, we understand our emotions, and we still have our ways to emote.
Yeah.
But because you said that the pet can already sense our thoughts and feelings, does the pet know that they're taking me to the hospital to put me down?
Yeah, they do know. They do know, and I have had heart-wrenching experiences in this case, because many pet parents have contacted me whenever they have to make this difficult choice of euthanasia.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it's about the decision which they want to make and the conflict with which they feel, because they have loved the pet so much, and it is such a big threat to their mind when they start thinking that tomorrow I'm not going to feel this body, I can't run my fingers through the...
Again, I'm sorry, but this is the human perspective.
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm sure, yeah.
But imagine what the pet must be going through.
Exactly.
That I have loved this mum as my very own biological mum, probably more.
Yeah.
And does the pet feel betrayed?
No. So what happens is, now there are many other examples which are coming in my mind of the pets whom I have spoken to. So one of my very early animal communication cases which I was doing, it was a dog, and the pet parents were really in conflict whether to put him down or not. When I communicated with the pet clearly told me that I don't want to be put down. It is not that,
naturally?
No, I want to live with my parents. I still don't want to go. I'm not ready to leave my body.
Right.
But the condition which he had was anyways fatal. Like there was no cure for his condition. But still, whatever time was left, he wanted to live it with his parents.
Right.
And when I mentioned this to family, the family couldn't come to terms with it because family had their own they wanted to travel,
their own commitments.
There was no one to take care of him at home. And what happened was, somehow she told me, like the parent told me, that we are planning to put him down, and we are planning to take him to our village to put him down. And they took him to the village, and there was a vet over there. As soon as the vet approached the table where he was lying down, he started crying. He started crying a lot, and it was done. But after that, the parent calls me, the guardian of the animal calls me, and she told me that he was really crying a lot and he really didn't want to leave.
Right.
That was the moment I was so heartbroken that I should, as an animal communicator, I should have insisted on that point that he doesn't want to leave you all. He wants to live with you all as much as possible, which I did. But somewhere, because of the family dynamics, the decision was taken. So sometimes the things are not in our hands, but they feel a lot. They really feel a lot. And they don't feel betrayed as such. There is another example of a dog whose guardian didn't inform me in advance. He just sent me the photos and the information which I needed to communicate, and he had not mentioned anywhere that we have already taken an appointment with the vet to put him down. He just wanted to know what his thoughts are, and I relayed all the communication which I received from the animal. I gave my love to the animal, and then when I relayed the information, the guardian told me that we have already decided to put him down. Now it struck me why the dog is feeling so much disconnected. because the family members had already started training themselves, and that we are, we are no longer going to have him, and we are going to put him down. So the dog had so much love for the family, really, like it was not that he wasn't loving his family,
Yeah.
but he was feeling the disconnection which they are feeling.
Yeah.
That now I'm not going, like he was not even depressed, he was just, he was just cut off with so much love, but cut off, that I don't have any purpose in life.
I mean, imagine
Really
the
cut off.
amount of hurt
Yeah.
it must have taken for him to go from endless love to I don't feel a thing now.
Yeah, and this is a very interesting topic which you have brought up, because recently there were 5 animal communicators representing 5 continents. I was one of them, and we had a special discussion on hospice care and euthanasia and animals' perspective on death and dying. How do they exactly perceive death?
Please tell us more about this.
So when I say hospice care, see, animals just like humans are also going through a process which is dying.
Right.
Naturally the body slows down, the animal stops feeding, or the animal stops, some animals want their own space, they isolate themselves. Some animals want to be cuddled and held according to whatever the personality of the animal is.
Right.
But we often have ideas about that animal, that dog's life is only for running, having food, playing. So I can't see my dog lying down over there. That is the belief which we have.
Right.
So we are having such a tough time when we can see our animal on the deathbed, and then that triggers us to think that no, my animal is in pain, so I must put him down. But that is often not the case. That is often not the case. It is a natural process of the body of slowing down.
Yeah.
When animals do communicate with us,
Yeah.
and animal communication helps us to know what are the requirements of
What
that
do they really need at that moment?
at that moment.
Do they really just need to rest or just be?
Yeah, mostly they do want to rest, but there are some additional very tiny things, like I want my bedding to be like this. I want a bolster here because it pains here.
Oh,
So they
yeah.
will exactly give the location of where the pain is located in their body. Or don't force feed me, I don't want to have food anymore, or don't give me any medicines. Often, depending on the awareness of the animal, of the family, and also of the animal communicator, sometimes exact details are also given by the animal, like this is the day I am going to pass away,
Like
this is the
Millie did
time,
with you.
yeah, this is the time when these are the things which are going to happen that day. So animal communicator can't predict as such, but sometimes when the awareness is brought to a higher level, and if everyone in the family are in sync with that, then sometimes there are some insights into the future.
Right.
But still, it is also animal communicator who is talking to the pet.
And who's as good
So-
as being a medium, conveying to the family what the animal really feels at this
Yeah.
moment.
So rather than medium or just an empty vehicle, just like a telephone receiver, that I am receiving the information, conveying it to the pet parent, and getting the information back from the parent and relaying it to the pet. So it is like an empty vehicle, but someone who can really listen to the feelings without projecting the beliefs onto the animal.
So like when you're saying that you are listening to the feelings, so when a pet is or any animal is communicating with you, what is the language in which they communicate and who chooses this language?
Yeah. So it is not often the language it is not actually the language of words.
It's not a verbal communication.
It is not a verbal communication.
Okay.
So it is a communication through images, and basically mostly it's not only images, but the way I will really put it is that if I am communicating with you, your soul is already communicating with me. So irrespective of whether I want to receive or not, actually everything around us is vibrating at a certain frequency,
Yeah.
and they are actually emitting all the information, whatever they have been through in their life. So now when I bring myself to a little calmer state of mind, I can literally feel your feelings. Now my subconscious mind is always in tune with all the things around me, but my conscious mind is not in touch with my subconscious mind. So let us consider that subconscious mind is my heart. So the animal from animal's heart is communicating with me. The information is reaching my heart, and then the information reaches my brain, because which is a conscious entity.
Right.
And now this energy, it filters the memories in my brain,
Yeah.
and then presents it into images, words,
Or just
feelings,
feelings.
or sometimes even sentences which I tend to write down, like some words which they have repeatedly heard, or whatever the pet parents are talking around them.
Yeah.
So I just want to make a note, even if I am saying, using the terminology pet parent, we are just the caretakers of the animal who has come in our family.
Okay.
We are not parenting a child, okay? Because often we tend to humanize animals.
Always.
We say that my dog is my baby, cat is my baby.
Yeah.
And what happens in that humanization is that we project lot of our own emotions, our own suffering onto the animal. So we need to really, distinguish our role in an animal's life and see the animal as an independent soul, individual soul,
Right.
who is not my baby. I am not going to humanize my animal. It is my furry friend. Let us feel that my pet is my friend.
Yeah, because even if my cat is, at her old age, if we were to say, I would still consider her as my baby,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So that is,
Yeah, but that's where we are going wrong and
Yeah.
not looking at the pet as an individual entity.
entity, yeah, individual soul, or just an individual, because it is also being. It is a essence, it is the
Right.
essence of energy. It is being in that particular cat body or a dog body.
Right.
It's not my baby, because what happens, if my pet goes through something tomorrow, and if it pains me a lot, then emotionally whatever I feel, I project onto the animal. So the animal is in physical pain, and now it absorbs the emotional pain from me, and the pain increases. So I am projecting my pain, it is bouncing back to the animal,
Right.
and which is where lot of codependency comes in picture. See,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
because lot of psychology is involved here also. We are not only codependent on the family members, other human beings in the society, but we are also relating the same thing with our animals. They are our companions. There is nothing wrong in getting a pet if you are alone. If you want to have a company, there is nothing wrong in it. But change the approach, respect the animal's individual nature, because animal has right to live its own life freely, going for a walk, not just to soothe you and sit with you at home just because you are depressed. So you have responsibility